I was so close to being smooth then. Got a cat in the way. Good evening and welcome to a fabulous edition of World of Synth. After our festive break, I hope we're all doing well. I hope we've had a good time filled with cheer and with some rest. Now then, Tom, are you good? This is Tom, if you've not met Tom. Tom's not always around, but Tom is going to be our guest cat for this evening's episode. if he stays on the table, which he probably won't do. He's not best in front of the camera, whereas Jackson will just sit on the keyboard. So anyway, I hope everyone's well. You've messed everything up. Oh, he's going to sit there. So he's found a spot. We like that. How is everybody? How are we all on this? I don't know. Where are you in the world? Because in the UK, it's quite cold. I think the threat of snow and ice, frost and fridlings is abound throughout the land. So let's just say hi to our moderators, Steve. Hello, Steve. And to Flash, Sam, if he's around, and also to Shroomy, who is in the house tonight. Shroomy was 11 years old yesterday, so big round of applause to Shroomy for reaching that ripe old age. And so there'll be a bit of oboe in the background, so if you hear that, then that's Shroomy practicing whilst also moderating the chat. But let's say hi to you guys. So those bits and bobs. So we've got Doommonger. How you doing? Studio 8FX. Hi there. And who else? Wagoo. Oh, Robbie too. Yeah, Robbie is in the house as well. Robbie too. Tom, yeah, well spotted. Gary, how you doing? And Mr. Schultz, good to have you aboard. Viral Beats, hello there. I hope you're watching with child also, because look, cats, and Jackson's back there. We've got a cat-filled episode. Yeah, so that's good. And Symptoms of Reality, Marilyn, how are you? Peter Coit, good evening. Robbie One's here too. Robbie too. I haven't had chance yet to fully sort of like dress you. So you're still in your plain undergarments, shall we say? Should we call it there? Should we put it there? Robbie's in his undergarments, sat on my desk. How? It's time for that, isn't it? So there's that. There's a bit of stupid British humour there. So Kent Spong, hello, good evening, and good morning, darlings. Indeed. Where are we? I was getting Tom and Tom. Tracker Jack, how you doing? So Azio Head, good evening. Cressy, good evening, and we're all back in the room. So I'm going to have a little mouthful of coffee because I thought, as I often bumble around with my modular, and I am on a journey with my modular. That is, I'm going to just mute that a minute. On a modular journey. So I'm still learning stuff about modular. But I thought during the summer, the break, I had a couple of days where I actually just had some ideas of what to do on World of Synth specifically, and come up with a really good list of episodes that we can really sort of enjoy together. Jeff Hopkins, modular is always a journey. That's good to hear, because it very, very definitely feels like that. And for me, it's been a long journey, which started long before I was ready for it to begin. Yeah, back in 2019 when I was doing a lot of videos for Tome, and I wanted to sort of take my modular journey and turn it into videos, and it didn't work the way I wanted it to work. And I wasn't really. I've got a rack brute, and I think I got a couple of modules, and I got semi modular synth, because of course that's the other thing. There's so many good semi modular stuff that but. Yeah, so I thought anyway it would be a good idea, because a lot of you in the chat, Robbie, looking at you as well, you don't do modular, and that's fine. It's fine, but a lot of you also don't really. I mean, I didn't understand, and there were lots of videos out there telling you what modules to buy, and also promoting the semi-modular synth. Let me bring this to the front. The semi-modular synth. Tom's not sure what about. He's like, do you like semi-modular, Tom? Is that your thing? Let's have a look at this then. So, a semi-modular synth is normaled. So you plug in a MIDI keyboard, and you plug in an output, whether it's phones or a line output, and you can make sounds. It works like a synth. That doesn't happen with modular. So really, a semi-modular synth it gives you a taste without the risk. So there's less reward. That does a disservice to semi-modular synths, because I've got quite a few semi-modulars. I do love a semi-modular synth. So maybe in context with your modular journey, a semi-modular synth might be a distraction or an avenue which is worth exploring because it's risk-free, but with less risk, less reward. For modular, this synth is fantastic and I love it, and it sounds brilliant and does things, and I get so much out of it, and I can fiddle around with the routing, which is good. But I tend to use it mainly as a synth, and I seldom use, the semi-modular aspect of it. Whereas this giant case of... Hello, you all right? You twitching there? So Tom's having a bit of a twitch. You all right? Oh, look at you. You're beautiful, aren't you? So cat distraction. So what have we got? Modular is just a polysynth that hasn't been bolted together in a single case yet. Can't absolutely. No one likes a semi. Richard. What about a modular? Right. So yeah, absolutely. Richard, who makes modular modules, is a good person to have in the chat for this episode. And anyone else, if you've got experience. Hey, Synth Samurai, my brother, how you doing? Welcome to GetJervis's Cats, Synths, Suits. Cat suits. I'd never wear a cat suit though. Or would I? Getting back on track. So, Peter, who is... Oh, look, it's not following the tweed. So, Peter Coy, modular is a way of spending more on synths without taking up more space. Also doesn't look too suspicious when the post arrives. So if you have to hide your purchases, modular is a great way to do it. Let me just show you. This module was about 80 quid, and it's based on an EMS Synth VCS3 diode filter. So you get those really nice sort of EMS style synth module filter stuff, but it's just a filter. So that's one aspect. So you can see, I mean, you've got options out there for 80 quid. You could buy a whole synth, but as you say, it's a good way of getting a high quality synthesizer of your own design. But we'll come to that in a minute. In stark contrast to this analog filter, right, which just has frequency, resonance, and level, with 2 further voltage controls, which who knows what that's going to do. But it's ways of controlling stuff. We'll come to that in a minute. In stark contrast to that, we've got the RYK VectorWave, which is a 4-part, 4-voice FM synth. So this is 4 sort of what would be a 4-voice? Come on, I don't think there is a 4-voice, 4-op. There isn't. Is there 6-op? Is the anyway? But that's about £500. That's the point I'm trying to make, is that you can go from reasonably inexpensive to very expensive and beyond, because, you start adding this stuff up. I mean, that's about £400 as well. And this is 4 drum voices, which again, you're not buying it. You're buying it because it does things. But what I wanted to do was to start the whole episode with a recognizable piece of music that anyone can understand in terms of synth. So I had a drum beat, I had a bass line, I had an arpeggio, and I had a lead line. So that's four different parts from this single module. Right now, I was triggering it from the KeyStep Pro, an external source. I could quite as easily have used the Performer, which is an 8-part sequencer. I need to learn this. I don't know it well enough to be able to do a video like this with that. But, you know, you've got probably more digital in this than anything else. Now, as you can see, I'm really struggling to see stuff. Now, Christmas time, this little hair clip, this is in my stocking. Good old Santa. Doesn't Santa know what to get you? Synth gifts that you would never think of. Look at that. So if, like me, you're a little bit, I don't know, just you're a little bit afeared. You're a little afeared of spaghetti wires, and that does get in the way. I don't know why I've gone Scottish for a minute, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to carry on with that. Don't know why. Occasionally my Scottish ancestry comes through. I can't help it. I'm not going to help it. You're going to have to deal with it. So, you know, you do need to be able to play a modular, and this happens very quickly. So you find ways to negotiate the board with accoutrement. An accoutrement like that, you know, just makes life a little bit anyway. Do you know what, Synth Samurai? I didn't get a death whistle in my stocking, but obviously you heard my response last night. My goodness. I think I might have to... what would the animals think of that? Really, it's horrendous. So, yeah, death whistle. I kind of want one, though. I do. There's a lot of me does want that kind of interesting sounds. That hair grip is so sad. It's important. You got me that for my stocking. Why is it sad? You wouldn't wear it in your hair. It's not for that. That's the thing. Greetings from sunny Maryland, indeed, Paul Artola, if that is indeed your name. And of course it is, it's your handle, right? So, we inverted popes. Hello. Miss anyone else coming through? No, Cornish, they did. I thought it did. So, just a big hi to everybody that's in the chat, has joined us for the live stream. If you're watching this afterwards, thank you. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe, because the channel grows with you and you grow with us. And together we grow bigger, and not in a semi-modular way, in a full-blown modular. Cheers. What are you drinking? I'm drinking ridiculous espresso. That's like, it was a mug full of espresso. I just needed it, you know? Sometimes you need a bit more. And oh, good Lord, that went down the wrong way. Yeah, I've run out of my donkey coffee. Oh, see, I've done it again. It's called Grumpy Mule, and I always call it Wonky Donkey. Well, there it is. Maybe that's the Jervis brand of donkey coffee, of mule, you know, Grumpy Mule, Jervis edition, Wonky Donkey, coffee that will wake you up and slap you in the face as soon as look at you. Remember, drink responsibly. So there we go. Gary T, Jason Maggs, monkey coffee. Is that? Do monkeys drink coffee before playing tennis? The cat amongst the pigeons. Oh, biscuit. I haven't got a biscuit for you. Well, it's Sunday's biscuit, isn't it? Steve is drinking rhubarb and apple Corson Press. Is that a hard cider, sir? Are you drinking hard cider? That's good. Drinking electrolyte snake juice. That's good. Is that squeezed from a live snake? I'm on the hard stuff. Yeah, Anna, go, girl. Yogi bedtime tea. Oh, that's nice. I had to bedtime myself up on Sunday. And last night, actually. I was sorting stuff out in here. And Sunday's crazy sort of like live stream things, you're looking for cables and stuff, so you leave a mess. Anyway, I always like to tidy up before doing a stream. So I was up a little bit later than I wanted to last night. Watching hardware jams. Some fabulous jams. Anna, looking at you. Cornish, as always. Looked some really nice stuff, as always. So enjoyed that. Right. So, hey, Nick Destruct, coming in. I was like one big happy semi-modular sausage party. So, anyway, let's get back on. So do remember to put QQ at the beginning of your statement if you want to ask a question, and Steve will reach out and touch me. Reach out and touch faith. Isn't that what Depeche Mode said? Right, so I'm going to have another little mouthful of my coffee. So, reach out and touch modular. So the cat's among the pigeons. Are you asking for more? You are. You want more treats? We'll do that afterwards. So, my modular journey started in a really, really poor way, and it was filmed in 2019, and there was no one around to tell me what to do, and I ran into the Thomann store, and I wanted to fill the table with as much cool stuff as I could. So I grabbed the most expensive modular case that was in there, which I think was the Make Noise. I don't know, it's a suitcase full of like stuff with pink cables. It just looked the coolest thing. I thought, I'm going to put that much. I'm going to make some noise with that. I just couldn't really get it working because I didn't understand. Because, let's go to title. So, we've done price. We've done perhaps why you'd want to do it. Well, we haven't really touched on why you'd want to go modular. But this book, maybe we should do that before we patch and tweak. Why would you want to do modular? Anyone in the questions who is already modularizing, hey, Keith in Watford, you reach out and touch cloth. Depends on the curry the night before. Reminds me of that. Anaconda burst open and spilling beans. Oh dear. Modular is fun. Okay. So I think, here's the thing. When I started playing, getting my modular stuff together, it was much a case of, with these modules, I will recreate a super synth. I will create the best synth I can with an EMS style filter, with the oscillators from a Jupiter 8, with some great looping envelopes with some interesting modulation, and I started doing that, and I guess I stopped because it started getting expensive as it does. But it's like, well, we are reinventing the wheel, and lots of chats and lots of things along the way, and I guess one of the best things is to not think of modular in that way. Of course you can, and there's there are no hard rules in modular. But why would you reinvent the wheel? Now, there are whole voices. Let's go back to the top down as well. Put me in there. There are whole voices which have presets, so I can load a completely different sound, and that will play. And I've got a CV which takes the voltage, and that changes the pitch. So that's CV per octave, and of course anyone with old analog gear will appreciate that anyway. So, left to right, and gate is on off. So that, let me just put it back on the unmute. Wow, let's turn. What was that? Did you hear that? That was a cat. What? Oh, are you jealous, are you? Are you jealous? Come on then. Right, we're going to get 2 cats in the kitchen and a silver spoon. So, just as quickly as that. Undeniably FM, right? Oh, Tom's picking up on that sound. You can hear through my headphones, can't you? Anyway. So you can get full voices. So yeah, that is expensive, but when you consider what it does, yeah, I know the synth, that will probably sound quite low because I've turned. If you want to remake the Sega Mega Drive soundtrack. Actually, that was a NES, wasn't it? Sorry, guys. But, this is the point. So you can recreate. I ended up getting the Dreadbox Chromatic modules, and I got every one of them. Let's just show you what they look like. And these are, if I do that, they're beautifully made. Look at that. Beautifully made with dual function. So not just, let's turn it the right way around, not just a really handsome, sexy, colourful set of modules, but they all do more than their single purpose. So this isn't just an envelope, it's a dual envelope, but it also has rise fall generator and an LFO. So you've actually got a multiple, so for me, and I have always called it this, I think I've even told Yanis, I refer to my chromatic modules as my Fisher-Price style kind of modular, because it was a great teacher, like my first modular, a great teacher of what I would want to do with modular. So actually, I didn't get gas. I didn't go out and buy every single module that I saw someone review. I don't do that now. I don't know why I don't have that kind of catnippy kind of, I need this module, I need to do this, I need to do this. I don't quite suffer with that, and I don't know whether it's because I used to work in a music store. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. Overload. But very, very reasonable. So it didn't cost me an enormous amount of money. It cost me, with the case as well, a few £100 to get, ultimately a very good full beginner's set, which allowed me to experiment with modules. And then I bought Platts straight away, actually, because I love the Micro Freak. Now, the Micro Freak and the Mini Freak by Arturia, they are based on Platts, which is a multi-algorithmic oscillator. So it's digital, but you've got a whole host of different styles of synthesizer. So this is where I'm getting to now. So the best advice I was given was not to reinvent the wheel, was to try and do something with modular that you can't do with a regular synth. Meanwhile, I had modules that could recreate the wheel, and that for me, I think, was essential to be able to put it into a familiar space where I could just do that. Sorry, Tom. I could create a nice bass line. I could do sort of weird arpeggios. I could do some weird, odd sounds with the Platts. And of course, the eudaimonia, again, so going back to how good these modules are, I would urge anyone who's seriously thinking about getting into modular, they'll probably be around secondhand, but they're not expensive new. And actually, you get such a lot. So Ataxia is the dual envelope. So you've got an envelope and perhaps an LFO or a rise-fall generator, which I love rise-fall generators. We're going to put this as safely out of the way. The filter, which has high pass as well as low pass, is a 3-part mixer. So if and when you expand your single oscillator, which is the Hysteria here, which is a full analog voice, which I think is very Roland in its character, as is the filter. So I jammed on Sunday, and if you didn't see it, I managed to get some incredibly convincing sort of SH101 TB303 almost, but I mean the TB303 has got a very special filter. But yeah, so that it gave me that. So then I could input the Platts into that as a mixer, and I could go, I've got other bits and bobs. The analog delay, which is smothered by my face. Let's see if I can do that one. Oh, it's not close enough, is it? This purple one is an analog delay, and as you heard in the intro jam, or maybe you didn't, it's capable of doing that feedback loop thing where you can pull it, let it go, let it ring out dub style, bring it back in and change the pitch. It's just marvelous. And these are definitely, they're keepers because they're so useful in so many ways. Dystopia, whilst also being a white noise, also does some really interesting things because the noise crush allows you to modulate. But again, that's like advanced stuff. I think what I'm going to do is we'll strip all the cables out of the modular and we'll start so that you can understand fully what modular does. So I'm going to have is Jackson on the floor growling? Jackson Jervis, what are you doing? In fact, oh, you're there. You're just snoring. Oh, he's rolling on his back. He wants me to tickle it. Should we, whilst I unplug, should we get a Jackson 5? Oh, yeah, massive plug. If I'd have had this to start with, I think it would have been helpful. I would have perhaps got into it quicker, but it took Robin Vincent to ask me to do the modular patch off in Synth East last year, because it's last year now, for me to get my stuff together and to build up my rig. And I ended up getting a new case out of it as well, because it was like I needed to expand. But yeah, I did that, and it was tremendous, because it really did allow me to explore the modular that I have and to push. And I realised that I didn't have enough envelopes, so I bought this amazing one by Rides in the Storm. Again, not expensive, about 60 quid. I'm going to reach out and I'm going to get a few bits and bobs, and I want to do a sort of a video on a beginner's guide, this kind of thing, so that it's a bit shorter. But any questions? Get this book. Come on, Jackson. Come on. No. 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 Ow. 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 Oh, come on then. Oh. Two cats on the table. Oh, he's straight away. Can't help himself, can he? Same musical. What? Go on. I'm trying to unplug everything here. Well, the majority of things. Come on, you can... right. Let's take the hairbands out. You can't walk out of that. Right. I'm going to unplug. Let's try and keep things simple and... What? No. The book does not sell for £100. I think it's around 50 quid, 60 maybe. But if you think about it, it's beautifully... Oh, Jackson, stop it. I'm not supposed to be... Here he comes. Here he comes. Sorry, guys. Let's get this full face moment. No? Okay, let's go back to that. It's cat ASMR, isn't it? Right, it's Tom's like, oh, that stupid kid. Right. Okay. I think we've done with you. Got our Jackson 5. Oh my goodness. You need a brush, mate. Maybe get baby G to do it. Yeah. All right. I can't see the comments. Modular can be a good tool to learn synthesis too, Richard says. And I think he's right. Cats and Jam as electronic composer, yes. I don't think Jackson likes those Eurorack spaghetti nests as much as regular synth. No, he doesn't. Jackson really doesn't like modular because there's nowhere for him to sit. And every time I try and do something, he's like trying to get on there. He's making the VectorWave vibrate. Davey, how you doing? Welcome. Hey, Mark Chandler. I have some Behringer semi-modular units, so to make a start with. Yeah, and that's good. But if you were around when I was talking about my semi-modular, I found that semi-modular it does not make you as adventurous as modular, for the simple reason it already makes a sound. This, if I unplug everything, does not make a sound. So there's something incredibly satisfying about ripping cables out as well. I've got to be careful how many I rip out, because I do need some of it. What? Right, what are we doing? Okay, so I am going to rip out all these cables. I'm going to put a big pile of... Right, I might just give the cat some catnip just to sort of get them... Oh, here he goes, here he goes. Oh no, that is so funny. That is so funny. He's trying to... Are you chasing that? You're going to guard it? Oh my goodness. Look. Right, just if anyone has any doubt on how big Jackson is, he's huge. Right, you beast. What was that? Right, you can both got. Oh, don't buy Patch and Tweak from Amazon. Crikey. If you go direct, yes, you can. Please do, please do. So Steve's going to put VCV rack in the link as well, because that's another good way of trying modular without spending any money. I think it's free. Is it free? VCV. Can cat hair be used as a patch cable? If it's Jackson, most definitely, Wabbit. Most definitely, because it's all about the integrity of that structure. Right, so what I'm going to do here, hopefully, right, so that's what the oscillator does, right? Let me just turn this on. So, do you remember the sound of the TV when it went off? So what we've got here is a single oscillator, single voice oscillator with octave, semi, again about this semi business, that's semitones, and you can quantize it. And if it drifts out of tune, because let's face it, it's analog, there is capacity to tune that on the back of this module if you need to. But the hysteria. A good hysteria when you're near hysteria. If you, Steve, if you could find the link to Buick's website and find out how much patch and tweak is on there. There's patch and tweak with Moog if you've got the Moog stuff as well, and there's also patch and tweak with Korg, which does Volkers and things as well. So there's a whole series of them. Just beautifully printed. I'm going to show you this. It can't possibly be £111. Look at this. And it's just... So it's got a nice forward by Susan Ciani. I hope I've said that correctly. And then it goes through each... But that's, look at how much... That's before, you know, you've got interviews with musicians talking about the case. And yes, the case is important. And yes, they're quite expensive. But they've... Excuse me. Coffee went down the wrong way. I suppose coffee to cough. And look, there's Reactor. And there's yeah, it's just beautiful. You know, really, really good stuff. Definitely worthwhile playing with that. So now without anything plugged in, thank you. Oh, can I? Can I? £65. That's it. There we go. Let me just pin that. Excuse me from doing this. It's for some reason that pin. Put. There you go. So I've pinned that. So yeah, it's definitely worthwhile getting. And actually, just check the rest of the books. He does so many good books. The book about the Mini Moog as well. The new one is fantastic. I don't have that yet, but I'll next chance I get. Anyone going to Synth East in February? I'll be there. Do say hello, and I'll put a link down here as well. Yes, Wagyu. Yeah, they're brilliant books, all of them. So yeah, VCV Rack 2 free is there as well. So I'll pin that in a minute. Tom's back. Did you miss something? Are you just gonna walk around? He's yeah. Watch Robbie. Just in case. There he goes. He's over there. It's over there. I think it's because, you know, that's the way it is. So I think, let's get back to this. So this is audio output of the oscillator, and it'll just sit there oscillating with different waveforms. And I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to zoom right in. Oh, maybe it's a little bit... Oh, I know what I need to sort that out. So that's horrible. Sorry, guys. It's like a set your neighbour's dog on. I mean, I can just, well, why modular? That's probably a good reason why modular. You know, you just get an oscillator in there. Sorry, an LFO, and but that's what most people expect out of a modular, isn't it? So that's a square wave, and of course you've got pulse width. So again, you know, like you can on a normal synth. So that's just an LFO for you if you want to know. So that's just basically using that. So that completely confused me. It's like, well, how do I get a sound out of that? And I thought, okay, well, I've got a keyboard which provides voltage. So let's take voltage out of this. What was it? It was voice 3, wasn't it? So let's go pitch. That's disco lynch. And we put the 1 volt per octave here at the top. Can you see that? Is that legible enough at the top? 1 volt per octave. And therefore, I can change, he says, if I get Tom pacing. I think it's because I've given, what are you looking at? You're going to jump on Jackson. Does it do, brilliant. Biscuit, does it do sync? You need 2 oscillators to sync. So, but yeah, of course, because, you know, there's a sync on that. So I guess you just sync it that way. Good question, though. I love the sound of a sync, you know. But let's focus on the basics. The basics are this simple. So this is voice number 3. And nothing's happened. Oh, that's because I turned everything down, right? So I can use an arpeggiator. Brilliant, right? But it doesn't stop. So that's the bit that got me. It's like, well, okay, how do I stop it? Well, having to explain it means I have to think about it. I'm going to have a bit more coffee. Oh my goodness, plus £16 for shipping to the UK. So that puts it up a little bit. So that's £81. That's quite a hefty price, isn't it, for the whole thing? I think, Cressy, if you're able to go to, I think Kim usually goes and does Synth Fest. I don't know if he's at Synth East. He wasn't at Bristronica, but he's definitely in Super Booth. So those are the kind of ways to get you, and you'll do a little bit of discount as well. Anyway, focusing. So this is where you need to take the output of your synthesizer and plug it into a mixer, right? Or a VCA. So you would then take the output and put it into a voltage controlled amplifier. The amplifier needs to be triggered. So we don't have a standalone VCA. So I'm going to use the eudaimonia. I'm going to go out of the eudaimonia, and we are not going to have any difference now. It will sound, he says. Have I turned it down? Yeah. So no. What's going on here? Right. But the VCA, voltage controlled amplifier, can be turned on off and can be affected by an envelope or an envelope if that's your preference. So VCA CV. Uh-oh. This is not. Why are you not playing? Because one needs to put. See, this having to think about it now and to tell you how I get there means that I have to really think about it. Anyway, so we will take the gate output. Shut thy gate. There's a cow in that. No, there's a bull in that field. What film? Shut thy gate. Right, so the gate output goes into gate trigger of the envelope. So that now, because it's looping, so it's why is it doing that? Oh, it's because I'm on arpeggio. So you got a voice. Now this is 3, and you could do that easily with the with this one. So the ataxia. So your basic modules from Dreadbox would be the ataxia, hysteria, and the eudaimonia, and those 3 will give you a voice. You'll get even a spare envelope for modulation purposes. Of course, you can resonate. You can bring the resonance up and. So, honestly, that took me ages to figure out. It goes into detail in the book, but that's the beauty of this journey, is that occasionally you'll hit a brick wall with it, and you won't know quite what's going on, and that can then force you to read, reevaluate, and to experiment. And for me, the experimentation aspect of modular really does make it, excite me. So that's a very basic sound, right? So let's go for patch and tweak for £54. Brilliant. Signal sounds, of course. Steve Eugenius. Right, I'll pin that. Here we go. Oh, I have to unpin. Oh my goodness. Unpin. Okay. No, it's asking me if I want to undo the unpin. Okay. Pin message. Right. Okay. So, I mean, we're talking. I guess to get the best out of modular, you really do have to know how to reinvent the wheel, and I guess that's something that is it's important, because if you're going to break something and you're going to do different stuff, thank you, Keith in Watford, for that. Brilliant, perfect. And it's in stock, 54 quid. You've got a bit of Christmas money left. Someone, your auntie's giving you 30 quid. Definitely worth the money. So gate your envelopes and envelope your gates. Let's do the modular rack. Exactly. So again, I love stuff that does more than just the headline news. And I think modular is good at that. You get something and it suddenly does, oh, but it also does this. But I think modular wise, all the Dreadbox modules do that. Now, Rides in the Storm do some fantastic, inexpensive, well-made but inexpensive modules as well. So I'd love to do. I'm hoping that we'll get that on the show. But like I said, a good start to modular, and I think it is letting you play with stuff. Davey got a VCV rack book, but it was published in German. Oh, a VCV rack book would be good. And again, that's a good way of if you are not in the position to splash out, and a lot of us aren't, then VCV is a great way to sort of have a play with what you could achieve. But it's software. And we can't do this with software. You can't, The idea of a looping. Hello. Is it? Oh. Oh no, that's just trigger. That's the loop. You know. Now, let's put the output of. Oh, hang on. I'm confused. Oh, for goodness sake, what am I doing? I've forgotten. There's too many things. Flipping cat hairs everywhere. Let's go for it. This is another envelope. So once you've reinvented the wheel, that's when you can start breaking stuff. So the envelope for your sound can be looped. Paul Artola just says that yes, whilst... Sorry, I'm getting carried away. And again, for me, that is the attraction. And it took me that till last February, I guess. So a year ago, or perhaps before Christmas, because I was rehearsing what I was going to do. And that's when I expanded these two modules here. Sorry, you weren't able to see what I was doing. Sorry, I'm just hiding myself. These modules were I got hold of these for that gig because I knew I needed to do something. I needed another filter and I needed another envelope. And I mean, that was, I think it's 59 quid. It was just crazy. That was 79. They're not expensive. Yes, but Paul, to go back to your point. Okay, so VCV rack, yes, it is software. No, you don't get cables. No, you can't just do that, but you can do the virtual cables. And I guess you're right. If you've got something like, I've got an Arturia Keylab 3 there, which has got slathered in buttons and sliders. You can actually at least get some sense of what it would be like to play with things. But we do like hardware. This module will self-destruct in 1 minute. I hate VCV. Jeff Hopkins. So there we go. What are we saying? Have I missed anything? I think local retailers also carry these days. Yeah. Wouldn't it be good to be able to walk into, just a store and go, I'll have a look at this. Oh, thanks, Rumi. I love how GetJervis just randomly starts singing. Is one of the many things I love about him. Oh, bless you, sweet. That will get you chocolate later. Right, Anna, VCV is good. Yeah. I think we all have our preferences, and wouldn't it be boring if everybody was the same? If we all loved VCV rack, or we all hated VCV rack, if we all loved polysynths but hated monosynths. I mean, we are blessed in our world of synthesizers that we are absolutely spoiled for choice and for the breadth of available sort of stuff. I mean, I'm looking around me now, and I've got let's have a look. Let's go back to this one then. Vintage, I suppose. Would you call it vintage? Is it late 90s, early noughties? Yeah, early noughties. Groove sampler, groove sequencer. Fantastic analog sequencer. Groove boxes. Groove synthesizer. How much is in there? Incredible semi-modular synthesizer. We are, a lot of this stuff you can just go in, and it's not as expensive as it used to be, and I think that's something we sometimes lose track of. Things have to have a value, and things have been worked on, and I think if I go back to modular, whilst you're buying individual stuff that doesn't appear very expensive, but as soon as you start building your rig, and I need another case because I've got a couple of modules there which I'm going to keep hold of, which I want to build into, and I want to experience. I'd like to lose the keyboard here and maybe have, you know, another single row here and a nice angle. So I don't know if I want to go for like a lovely wooden case. I think that'd be quite nice. But, you know, there is a lot of people out there there will be a lot of things out there that you can do with modular cases. You can go up, I mean, the size of a wall. I mean, I'm not going to say I can't see myself with one, but I can't see myself with one, if that makes sense. So I've just said it. I can't see myself ever having a wall filled with modular. I mean, I like my little boxes. I love, you know, the circuits and the poly-N tracker and the synth. I love those machines. I even, you know, the Digitone as well. I'd quite like to get hold of a Digitone too. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. Yes, Rabbit. In my limited experience of this musical arena, a lot of people want to recreate the sound of the 80s and 90s. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I mean, I started making music, electronic music, in the 90s. So vintage to me still means slightly post DX7. Yeah, I think so. But it is, yeah, that is vintage. How weird is that? Remember them coming out new? The best sampler that Ensoniq ever made. That's going to be on the desk next week. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap up. Any further questions on modular? I gave you a quick, you know, a quick kind of rundown of the basic modules you would need to get going. Cases can be, you know, as expensive or as inexpensive as you want them to be, and can grow with you. Secondhand market is busy with modules because there are thankfully a lot of people who get obsessed with modular and obsessed and gas over a module that they need to have, and when they have it, they either get rid of something else or they get rid of that module because it wasn't what they wanted. I've considered my purchases here, and I'm very happy to have what's in front of me as a system. And I want it to grow, and I do want more sound sources. I want more oscillators, and I do want some more analog rawness, because I've got some fantastic digital stuff in here. But it can grow, and that's the beautiful thing about it. It can grow. Anyway, so hopefully I've answered most of your questions, or at least piqued your interest in that. I will maybe do a little sort of cart with a system that you can buy from maybe Taiwan or something. Anna, what is your favourite colour patch cable? Well, I have to say, it's the green one, and this was gifted to me from the guys at Synth Cable. I'll repeat that, Synth Cable. Is it Synth Fest last year? I got a little few of these, and they're really good. I've got some of their cables anyway. They sort of light up when there's signal going through them, which is, again, very useful. But, Anna, I've also got free, again, gifted to me at another event. This is why it's worthwhile going to events. They give you things, not just stickers. Look at this fabulous sticker from Jolin, which came with the module. Oh, my goodness. You know, can you see that? Let's do that there. Look at that. Beautiful. It's a toad. Hang on. There he is. There you go. Look at that. Amazing. Beautiful, beautiful toad. So, yeah. So, free stuff is always good. So, look at this. That is my volts. And we love my volts on this channel too. Again, this is their Halo, which was I think they were invented in conjunction with Andrew Huang. So there we go. So my favourite things, dude. It's yeah, Shroomy, you can probably have that for your room to go with your synthesizer. You can put that next to your Micro Freak. Right. Thank you very much for staying with me on this journey. Hopefully it's been instructive, and you maybe have, it can be an episodic thing. We can dip back into this later and recreate catch and sort of carry on where we got to here. Because obviously I was fiddling around with ebb and flow, which is an envelope, a one-shot envelope, and an LFO, and I was getting some all sorts of weird stuff with the filter and the oscillator. But anyway, yeah. So modular kind of got my heart about 2 years ago, and I've been happy with just the way it's gone. Anyway, yeah. So thank you very much for watching, and if you're watching this post the event, thank you very much for your time. And you're welcome live anytime. Any lurking gherkins, you make this channel happen. Without you as the backbone, sitting there and being present, we wouldn't have as many viewers. So that's good. So yeah, thank you very much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you don't already do so. Tell your friends, tell your mum. Actually, I need to tell my mum. I'm going to tell her next week because I'll bring her cake on. She can do jamming in Jim Jones with Jackson and Tom. Synchrotron, Andy, Latebook. Well, you're going to have to watch it from the start. A lot of this stuff anyway, but thank you anyway for turning up. Wagyu says, I like Cable Puppy braided cables, but then they dried up. Oh, unfounded by Sharm. But the Sharm modular ones off eBay are nice, and the Vostok copper silver patch cables are quite similar to Cable Puppy. I'll put all the links to the cables as well in the chat, as well as the modules, and I'll do a little sort of a link to a basket so you can see, or I'll share my wish list on Thomann or something. You don't have to buy it from Thomann, but I mean it's just an easy way for me to share, what it will cost you to get, a modular setup, and get going with it. Anyway, thank you. Glad you enjoyed that, Anna. Much appreciated. So Andy was fitting a new washing machine. Is it semi-modular or is it fully modular? Is it semi-modular or fully modular? A question you need to ask. Siam, like the Siamese cat, so Siam cables. Based in Thailand. Nice. Well, there we go. I'll just make some weird noise with this. We've lost our dubby business because I've just unplugged everything. There we go. Anyway, all the best. Be well. And thank you for your company this evening. Bye for now. Bye. I'm just going to probably don't know. Shall I just do this? What's going to happen? What's the... Oh. It's a bit kind of weird, isn't it? Steam train again. I don't know what it is about I do recreate Steam occasionally. Thanks.